Mojang has added shader support to Minecraft Bedrock Edition for consoles and mobile devices. This is not ray tracing, it's actual shaders using the Render Dragon engine, and it looks surprisingly good. Now, this is really early stages in the beta, but they're going to be working on this so much more in the coming months. So Bedrock Beta 1.20.30.20 just added a new experimental toggle to your Minecraft worlds. And that toggle is the Render Dragon features for creators. This is basically built-in shaders for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now, this is very early development of this feature, so everything in this video is going to look slightly janky, but it's going to get much better over time. As of right now, you can use these shaders on Xbox One, Android devices, and Windows 10 PCs. Shaders are going to be rolling out to additional devices in the coming updates, probably iOS, maybe the Switch, PlayStation, you name it. If it's playing Bedrock Edition, it's probably going to get these shaders eventually. So as you can see, it does actually look pretty decent. Now, I'm currently using a ray tracing texture pack, so it was not built for this type of Render Dragon rendering and shaders, so it's going to look a little bit off, but in the coming weeks, we're going to have new texture packs made specifically for this, and they're probably going to look a lot better. So as you can see, we just have like standard fancy graphics right here, and then we press the same button that we would for ray tracing, and bam, that turns on shaders. And as you can see, it's looking pretty good. I really like the fog, and of course with texture packs, you know, we can change any texture that we want. We can customize the lighting, the fog, anything in Minecraft can be customized depending on your texture pack. So if we go into our graphics settings real quick, so just settings and then video, and then we got to scroll all the way down, you can see that ray tracing is not actually turned on, even though we are using a ray tracing texture pack. As of right now, if you have this experimental toggle turned on, you won't actually be able to use ray tracing in the world. As you can see, if I try and turn that on, it like refreshes the chunks around us, but it does not turn it on. You can only use shaders in the world if you turn on this experimental feature. So Mojang, I don't think, is going to be releasing official shader packs for this. Instead, they're going to be relying on the community to actually build these shader packs, release, and distribute them. So if you want to try out this yourself, there are several different packs you can play with. Basically anything with a PBR should work fine. So for instance, you can use Define PBR from MadLad, you could use Vanilla RTX probably, and also Kelly's RTX will likely support these features, but of course all of these texture pack creators in the coming weeks will likely be releasing new packs specifically for these shaders, which will improve things drastically. So here's a couple comparison shots between these shaders and ray tracing. As you can see, there are some significant differences. Overall, ray tracing will just look better in basically every situation because it's more intense, it's more detailed, and it's also more graphically demanding on your hardware. However, these shaders do look really good, and they're actually going to be available on mobile devices and consoles, which is the big win here. We've been asking for this for years. So here's a little sample of what you might expect to see at nighttime. As you can see, it does actually look quite nice. It's ray tracing-esque style of graphics. Of course, it's a little bit tuned down, there's not as much detail, and you're going to be missing out on some features from ray tracing, but it's shaders. I mean, what do you expect? It looks good. It looks much better than, you know, vanilla. Remember that this texture pack wasn't made for this feature, but here's an example of what you might expect to see from Lava and the Nether. I gotta say though, it's kind of cool. Obviously unplayable, but for like cinematics and stuff, that's pretty cool. These shaders do actually come with dynamic shadows. As you can see, the sun is moving across the sky right now, and these shadows are actually following it, which is really cool. And of course, that happens with entities such as the player. You can see our shadow is actually following us, and the moon is even emitting light as well. As you can see, all these shadows are moving. There's several other major features with these shaders, such as PBR materials for blocks and entities, primary lighting from the sun and the moon, shadows, which I already showed you, bloom, and tone mapping. Now, I don't know what most of this stuff really means, but it does mean that we have some good looking light blocks. So for example, you can see torches actually emit like some yellowish light, soul torches have a bit of a blue tint to them, and redstone torches are actually fully red, and it looks amazing. Of course, soul lanterns can also put out blue light, so this means that basically all the light blocks can be customized to look very nice like this. Now, this texture pack again is not designed for this feature, so redstone lamps and sea lanterns don't quite look right. This also means that we can have emissive entities using just these shaders. So basically we can add little patches of light to any mob that we want, such as glow squids, and have them actually glow, or have glowing eyes on Enderman, or glowing blazes. There is so many opportunities to add like a little bit of light to some mobs, and that is possible with these shaders if you have the correct texture pack. Spectator mode is really broken, but also really like noir, like interesting looking, and I kind of like it. Now, granted, this is also broken with ray tracing, so that's just standard Bedrock edition for you. Not really anything to show off underground right now. Again, this is very early stages. Mojang is going to be working on this a lot in the coming months. Nothing beats the standard RTX bugs though, does it? Even after relogging, it's still there. It's like one of those puzzles that you need to line up with the terrain. There you go, got it. Ray tracing, very good feature, guys. They definitely don't need to fix this at all. So how do you actually turn on this feature? Well, if you have a compatible texture pack, you can go into your settings and then video and then scroll all the way down, and that's where you'll see graphics mode. Now, not every RTX texture pack is going to show you this little button. You might have to try a different ray tracing texture pack in order for this to show up, but this does not use ray tracing. As you can see, we have the deferred technical preview, which is the technical jargon that they're using for right now. That's going to get a much prettier name later on. And then there's actual ray tracing, which you can only use if you have a ray tracing compatible GPU on a computer. But this works on Xbox, Android, and Windows 10 as of right now. So that's basically all there is to that. And then if we open up this little thing, you can see there's a lot of additional options. So you can change the quality of your shadows, you can change your point light quality, your bloom, your upscaling, and your anti-aliasing. So I don't really notice too much difference between these two things. I'll show you a comparison here between all of the lowest settings and all of the highest settings. It's probably not something you're going to notice too much. Also, you'll notice in here that there's the deferred render distance, and that is for your actual shaders. So by default, this is probably going to be set down to like 4 or 8 chunks. So if you can't see anything with this turned on, that would be why. And again, not every resource pack is actually capable of showing you these new features down here. So you might need to switch resource packs, crank that up, and then switch back to the resource pack that you actually want to use. Now, as of right now, these settings are just kind of like whatever you want them to be. There's no minimum requirements or anything like that. They're still working out what is required to run this. So it's going to be in development for quite a while, I would imagine, probably at least another 3 to 6 months before we start seeing this in actual vanilla survival. So Mojang currently hasn't set any minimum requirements for this, so your mileage may vary. You might have really bad lag depending on the abilities of your machine, but you can always adjust your quality levels to get better performance. And Mojang has confirmed that they are planning on bringing this to more platforms in the coming updates, as many platforms as they can. Again, this is all very, very beta, very early access, so bear with us while Mojang sorts this out, and of course report bugs and issues that you find to the bug tracker, but keep in mind that the texture packs are not designed for this feature yet, so most of the graphical issues that you see is really just due to that. Show some love to the Mojang devs for putting this together for us. So this is one of the most highly requested features in all of Bedrock Edition, and it is on the way, and it looks really, really promising. If you enjoyed this video, then drop a like and share it around so that other people can enjoy it too. Subscribe if you're new here to help us reach 600,000. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you down in the comments and in the next one.